Okay, so everybody's been talking about this coronavirus, and so I just wanted to share with you to encourage you in wherever situation that you are facing right now. Number one, God is God, and He's greater than any virus out there. So we should evidently rest in Him each and every day. He is always there, keeping us, protecting us. He is not imputing sickness on us. Even though we're Christians, that does not mean that we're exempt from being sick. But God knows all things, and what He allows, He allows, and we have to trust Him in what He has allowed to occur in our lives, and we must trust Him in it. And so, when we trust Him in it, we have that peace. Because honestly, if we freak out about all the other things that go on, and it's like, oh, if I do this, if I, cough, if I touch this, I mean, honestly, you can't breathe. Like, you can't live, you can't enjoy life, and you just be so terrified. And that will kill you. The fear of death will kill that'll kill you more than the actual death. When I say that, it's just like more people are freaking out about dying to the point where they are operating in stress and doubt and unbelief. They're afraid, they're terrified, they showing hatred towards other people, because when fear operates, love is nowhere near. It says the perfect love of God casteth out all fear. And yet we have a world full of people afraid, operating in fear. And that just down cycles. It's more of a financial epidemic than a health epidemic. It's crazy. So, and the real virus is not the coronavirus. The real virus is fear. And we have to see it as that. We have to see it from a spiritual lens. We have to see it from the fact that, is God being glorified, or is we just allowing Satan to deceive us? Satan is the author of confusion. He is the great deceiver. You know? And so we got to make sure that we put things in perspective. And when we put things in perspective, we're able to live freely and understand that we're not here to live this life on earth. We can't be afraid to die. We can't be afraid to die on this earth, because it's not about what we have here on this earth. It's about the world to come. New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. It's all about the heaven that we will enter in after we do what is needful and necessary for us to do. As we do the will of God, we fulfill the will of God, and God could tell us, well done, thou good and faithful servant. That's what we should be focused on. That's where our heart should be. That's what we should be meditating on, not the news and all this other mess. If I allowed the fear that at one point it almost got to me, because I was like, oh, I need to be wise. I need to, blah, blah, blah. I need to do this. Now, there's nothing wrong with, taking some extra precaution, because honestly, like, I personally want to wash my hands and do all those things. I mean, obviously, you need to wash your hands, period. You need to be clean, like, just to be clean, period. But there are other things. I mean, I don't want to be the one coughing on the bus. Be like, yo, and having a cold because I'm not eating right or taking good care of myself or whatever. And then everybody looking at me on the bus funny or whatever the case, wherever I'm at. But at the same token, it's just like, I mean, it's pollen season right now, or at least here in Atlanta. And I mean, you're gonna catch people sneezing and all that kind of stuff, and people are terrified, operating in fear, stress, all this stuff. And that stuff kills you. It's always stressing out, always having anxiety, always having these fears, and doubting God and all that kind of stuff. That kills you physically. That's the real epidemic, not the coronavirus. It's the fear operating in people. But see, sometimes we need that pressure, because we become complacent as a church body, as God's people. And here in America, we've become so lax. It's just like, oh, it's all about this song, or they don't sing my song, or whatever the case may be. Oh, they dress this way, so I want to go to this church. At the end of the day, it's not about what church you go to. It's about what's in your heart. Do you have the ability to love somebody else like God loved you? I get challenged in this every day. Every day. I want to exemplify God's love through me to others. That's a day-to-day walk. And when I look at the coronavirus, it just only encourages me to live more like Jesus, to die to myself. And when we die to ourselves, we're not afraid to die, because we could go boldly before the throne of God and say, hey, I know he's going to tell me, I'm well done and good and faithful servant. I can stand there boldly, proudly, because I know I've been covered by the grace of God, been covered by what he did on the cross. My security is in him. And if you're afraid of dying, you're afraid and you allow this coronavirus to cause you to operate in fear, read Romans 8. Read Romans 8. If God be for us, who can be against us? Be encouraged. And remember, speak life, love others, have faith, love Jesus, and keep your faith up. Peace.